You don't need to chase success. Chasing implies that what you desire is running away from you, and you're constantly behind it trying to catch up. But true achievement doesn't work like that. It's not a race to see who can run the fastest toward their dreams. It's about becoming the kind of person those dreams are drawn to. Success is never out there. It's within, waiting for you to become aligned with it. The real work is in transforming who you are so that you can naturally attract the things you want without desperation, force, or constant struggle. Think about a magnet. It doesn't go running after metal. It simply becomes what it is, a force of nature. The same is true for people. When you develop the qualities of someone who is prepared for success, you naturally draw opportunities, relationships, and breakthroughs into your life. It starts with character. It begins with discipline, mindset, belief, and personal power. When you raise your personal standards, everything else in your life must follow that energy. You can't expect to live a first-class life with a second-class mindset. Too many people obsess over how to get success. They want tactics, hacks, shortcuts, but they never stop to ask themselves, who am I becoming? Because who you become determines what you attract. When you are the kind of person who is consistent, focused, driven, and patient, success is no longer something you pursue, it's something you welcome. You walk into it. You become a match for it. This shift in thinking changes everything. You move from desperation to confidence, from force to flow. You're no longer trying to manipulate circumstances or impress others. Instead, you're focusing on your growth. You're waking up early, reading the right books, staying consistent even when nobody's watching. You're developing inner strength, the kind that doesn't break when things get tough. And it's in that process, that refining fire, that you become magnetic to the results you desire. The truth is, you attract who you are, not what you want. If you want powerful relationships, become someone worth knowing. If you want wealth, become a person who adds massive value. If you want to lead, become someone worth following. The law is simple but uncompromising. Your outer world reflects your inner world. There's no escaping that. And the moment you take full responsibility for that truth, you unlock a level of power most people never reach. This journey of attraction isn't about pretending to be someone you're not. It's not about faking confidence or copying someone else's routine. It's about honest, quiet, consistent work on your own soul. It's about identifying your weaknesses and choosing to face them. It's about confronting your laziness, your doubts, your excuses, and replacing them with discipline, clarity, and fierce determination. This is the work most avoid, but this is the work that shifts everything. When you stop chasing and start becoming, you shift the balance of power. You're no longer waiting on life to give you a break. You realize you are the break. You are the difference. You're not looking for opportunity. You're preparing for it. And when it comes, you don't panic. You don't second guess. You rise ready because you did the inner work. You showed up for yourself when it wasn't convenient. You stayed committed when no one clapped. You kept the vision alive in silence. It's in that silent preparation that true success is born. Not in the noise. Not in the likes, the views, or the applause. It's born in those quiet mornings, those late nights, those moments of doubt when you chose to keep going. That's where character is forged. That's where attraction is built. Not because you're trying to convince the world of your worth, but because you've convinced yourself. And when you do, the world notices. People feel that energy. They sense the confidence that comes from someone who's done the work. Not the fake kind, the real kind. The kind that radiates from the inside. That's what attracts clients. That's what attracts trust. That's what draws success, not just once, but sustainably. Because it's not built on hype. It's built on a foundation that can't be shaken. Success doesn't respond to desperation. It responds to preparation. It doesn't answer noise. It answers energy. The kind of energy that says, I'm ready. I've earned this. I've grown into this. That energy doesn't beg. It doesn't chase. It receives. It commands. It carries a quiet power that needs no validation. And the moment you tap into that, everything begins to change. But it starts with you. It starts with the decision to stop running after everything. And instead, start working on the only thing you control, yourself. Your habits, your thoughts, your beliefs, your consistency, your emotional discipline, your integrity. When you take ownership of these, success begins to appear, not like magic, but like a natural consequence. You don't need to force doors open. You need to become the person who doors open for. And that only happens when you commit to building the kind of mindset and character that success can't ignore. So stop looking out there. The game is played in here, within your own decisions, your own reactions, your own habits. Success is not a place you reach. It's a vibration you carry. When you elevate your thinking, your energy, and your actions, the world begins to bend in your favor. People start calling. Ideas start clicking. Opportunities begin to line up. Not because you're lucky, but because you're ready. You've become the kind of person those things are meant for. Success is not a place you reach. It's a vibration you carry. When you elevate your thinking, your energy, and your actions, the world begins to bend in your favor. People start calling. Ideas start clicking. Opportunities begin to line up. Not because you're lucky, but because you're ready. You've become the kind of person those things are meant for. So while others chase, panic, rush, and burn out, you move with clarity. You rise with purpose. You act with precision. Because you know success isn't something you run after. It's something you prepare yourself to receive. And once you've done that, you don't chase anymore. You attract. You begin to walk differently. You speak differently. Not because you're trying to impress anyone, but because there's a calm, confidence in knowing you've done the work. You face the uncomfortable truths about yourself, and instead of hiding from them, you turn them into fuel. That's what sets people apart. It's not talent, not luck, not even timing. It's self-mastery. It's the ability to lead yourself when no one else is around to cheer you on. When you operate from this level of personal leadership, you don't need to convince the world that you deserve more. Your presence becomes proof. Your results become the voice. People begin to notice that you're not just another one of the crowd. You're different. You move like someone who belongs in the room. You speak like someone who has clarity and conviction. And that kind of energy pulls things toward it, naturally, effortlessly, magnetically. But make no mistake, this isn't easy. It takes time. It takes sacrifice. It requires you to say no to distractions that everyone else says yes to. It demands that you stop blaming circumstances, your past, or other people for your current position. The moment you do that, when you decide that no matter what's happened, you are the one responsible for your next step, that's when you shift from chasing to attracting. Attraction is about alignment. It's about your values matching your actions. It's about walking your talk, showing up with integrity, and living like the future you want is already real. Because in truth it is. Every decision you make today shapes that future. Every time you choose growth over comfort, discipline over distraction, vision over fear, you pull that future closer. The world is not withholding anything from you. It's simply responding to who you are being right now. If you're not attracting what you want, ask yourself, not what do I need to chase, but what do I need to become? What parts of me are still resisting growth? Where am I cutting corners? What am I tolerating that no longer serves the vision I have?